When I say penis, you say burger. When I say penis, you say burger.
Hi, and welcome to Seattle's #1 comic book. Oh no, I'm hoping to do that on the fade. Hi, and welcome to Seattle's #1 comic book podcast. I'm lost without you, James. Hi, and welcome to Seattle's #1 comic book podcast, the podcast that is dedicated to the first issue of your next favorite comic. And I'm Larry, and I'm by myself tonight. James is still on vacation. He is listening, I'm sure. Well, maybe I'm not sure. I don't even know if they have Wi-Fi in Thailand. Thai-Fi. So I have been meaning to do this episode. So James will be back soon. I hope. I'm holding it together. And I missed a week. And I apologize, and I just want to put an episode out there so you have something in your feed. I have been meaning to do this episode for a very long time because I found out I usually buy my digital comics on Wednesday. I usually buy my physical comics on Wednesdays as well. But I usually buy my digital comics on Wednesdays. This last Wednesday, I got busy and was unable to get on the internet and purchase my comics. So I did it on Thursday. I was stunned to see how many new #1 comics come out on Thursday. I might have to start buying comics on Wednesdays and on Thursdays because all the new #1s come out on Thursdays. I thought, what a great idea for a show. I would talk about, since it's Seattle's #1 comic book podcast dedicated to the first issue of your next favorite comic, why not find your next favorite comic with a new comic that just came out this week? And a bunch of them came out. I'm going to talk about 5 of them, but I think there's more than 10 that came out. I was stunned. I'm always just blown away by I get to the comic book shop and I'm always new this week. New this week is new this week. But in physical form, they don't always put out the #1s because I'm sure there's a lot of overhead, like who's going to buy these, whatever. With digital, there may be a little more like flexibility in how they get these comics to you. So I'm always stunned. Well, I was stunned this week. Thursday is my new #1 comic book podcast day. I'm purchase day. #1 purchase day. So I'm just not even going to fool around with it. I'm going to jump right into 5 new #1s. Compose myself. As always, our Seattle's #1 comic book podcast is a review show with some spoilers. We always try and keep major spoilers to a minimum if you haven't read your books. And how could you know what books I'm going to talk about? So I'm not going to this is a spoiler-free episode of Seattle's #1 comic book podcast. I'm just going to be talking about some #1 comics that came out last week, probably 2 weeks old now. But I'm still available on Comixology. Here are my picks. From DC. Exiled from their home planet, alien heroes Zan and Jana must navigate life as teens on Earth at South Metropolis High, where they're even bigger outsiders than their typical awkward young adults. Under the watchful eye of Superman, the brother and sisters pull monitor duty at the Hall of Justice as interns, while also trying to overcome the pitfalls of Zan's brash confidence and Jana's shy but streetwise persona. If you think you know the Wonder Twins, think again. This book takes the form of the unexpected! Wonder Twins #1, colored by Stephen Byrne, pencils by Stephen Byrne, and written by my new favorite author, Mark Ryan. This was a blast. Straight up, silly, willy fun. Zan and Jaina are the Wonder Twins. Now, I have to say, I cannot remember the Wonder Twins. I understand. I'm an eagle. So he can become a bird, and she can become a bird, and he can become water. They are silly. This is such a fun, silly comic. They are, like I said in the intro, on Earth from their planet and trying to fit in, and it's just exactly like you would imagine. But the best part of this is the trio. Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman try and get these guys fitting in. When they become human, like just this human form of these people, it is just, just fun. It's just fun. And it doesn't look like the original it might even look a lot like cartoon that you remember from Saturday morning. Hawkman is awesome. Superman is silly. And they have this back and forth. The kids are left at the Hall of Justice, nothing to do, spinning in the chair. And then there's some hilarious hijinks with the saddled computer. Remember the saddled computer? He's still here in this modern world of, cell phones and text messaging. This is just a hoot. It is 22 pages of silly. Zan is my favorite. He tries to make himself cooler than he is. Again, no spoilers. He thinks he is just going to be the bee's knees on campus, and he falls flat, and all of the superheroes are giving their support in ways that you've never seen Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman give that support. It is just, it's just precious. If you want to see a fun comic that is precious, check out Wonder Twins #1. Set in a brilliant new sci-fi universe, Sharky is a blue-collared bounty hunter, and he's also blue, who tracks criminals across the galaxy in his converted rocket-powered ice cream truck. I'm not making this up. Aided and abetted by his 10-year-old partner, he is out for the biggest bounty of his career. Hollywood news! Netflix latest live-action project from Mark Miller. Read the comic before you see the movie. Yes. Written by Mark Millar, with art by Simone Bianchi. This is so much fun. This is Sharky the Bounty Hunter, and I want to say it's a little formulaic. I feel like I've seen this movie before. The art is beyond. You gotta see this art. Sharky the Bounty Hunter is a Han Solo type character on a crappy planet collecting bounties. There he is. I guess I said that he was blue. He's actually purple. He has just it's Burt Reynolds in space. He looks like Burt Reynolds. He looks like a very balding Burt Reynolds. He has a great mustache, a killer leather jacket. I think the power of this comic is really Sharky's look. He is drinking at a bar, and what he does, and gets an amazing bounty. The best parts of this book are the little details, the sci-fi details that make it just come to life. There is a character that breaks into parts, and you have to capture all of his parts in order to get one of it, to capture him whole. That's a spoiler, but I just have to say it because I just thought it was just so ingenious when I saw it. Our hero, Sharky, gets captured, or not, doesn't get captured. He gets saddled. He gets saddled with this young kid. He does the right thing. This poor orphan child has been left on this planet, needs to get back to his relatives on the other side of the planet, and as a convenience, Sharky takes the kid with some reluctance. You've seen this story before. I gave this book, when you read Comixology, you're allowed to rate this book, and I gave it a 3-star out of 5. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I really do love this art. I feel like I've seen this story before. I feel like I know what's going to happen, but I kind of feel like I'm along for the ride. So check it out. It's called Sharky the Bounty Hunter. Now, by far my favorite art going into these 5 books. I don't know what any of this stuff means. Prequel to the BioWare's highly anticipated game. I should have shouted that. Prequel! It's all in caps. Prequel to the BioWare's highly anticipated game. When Kismet's family is ambushed while traveling between settlements, the young boy is rescued by one of the exosuit-clad warriors known as freelancers. Now an orphan, it's up to him and his adopted sister, Johnny, to build a future for themselves and humanity on a planet filled with danger. Written by Alexander Freed and Mark Walter, with art by Eduardo Francisco. I thought this art was fantastic. I loved it so much. The colors. Oh, I didn't mention the colorist. Michael Antilla. This book, while again not being... No, it was a good story. I'm not going to poo-poo on this. This was a good story. This reluctant teen girl takes on this... She gets a brother, basically. And I love the time jump in this. This art is so good. I don't want to just gloss over this art. It's a futuristic world where exo-clad warriors save young boys from terrible monsters. Our hero, or I hope to be soon to be hero. I think the hero of this book is Johnny, though. We don't know yet, but it's the first issue. This world that they live in is just so gorgeous. There's flying dragons that look so peaceful in the sky. They're just flying through this sunset. There's a time jump where Johnny and her new adopted brother, Kismet, the time jump is just fantastic. They just grow up together. So they're, I don't know, maybe 12 and 7, and she's the older sister, and they live together. They grow up and they want to leave and get out of this small town. Basically, it's let's get out of this small town. But what's on the outside of this small town? It's nothing but terrible stuff. This first issue lets you know that the world isn't what it is on the inside of this small town. On the outside of this world, there are bigger stuff. They're on their way. It's a great first issue setup. The art is fantastic. There's some details in some of the street scenes that show it's just really very well detailed. And when the kids get older, the art gets older with them, so they don't look like little kids in grown-up bodies. They look like they're like this person, Eduardo Francisco, is just a monster. He knows what he's doing. Great pencils. Just great art. I just love this art. And I love this story. I pre-ordered the next issue, and it's coming soon. So